and welcome to the Pink Hair Girl podcast. My name is Sally Jane.
I'm Sheldine.
And it seems as though we didn't scare Sheldine away last time.
No. My mummy likes it, so I'm back.
Okay, cool. That's all that matters then, eh? I don't think my mum watches, but never mind. It's been about 2 weeks. That's not bad going. Yeah. And we have had a couple of, quite a lot of birthdays since then. We pack them in, like one after the other.
Oh, the New Year's babies.
Yeah, we had Rachel's birthday. And then 3 days later, Shaldine's daughter's birthday. And then how many days after that?
Then 4 days later was Robin and my mom and my uncle. Oh, and my gran was on the same day as my daughter.
Okay. And then yours was on Wednesday.
Yes. It's a busy month.
So it's been go around here for birthdays. Oh, and here's your birthday present.
Ooh,
Happy birthday.
You. Thank you very much. I know you were going to schedule it to be opened on
recycled paper from something else.
Well, the whole thing was we didn't have any gift bags at home because obviously I hadn't packed those spring. So I went to the one stop, almost choked, paid £2 for a bag, but now it's the family birthday bag. Everybody got a gift in that. Yeah. Ooh. What is this? Oh, cool. Thank you. I don't believe it. I was looking at gloves last night online.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's awesome. These are the ones that you bought for Rachel.
Yes.
Oh, they feel so nice.
So this is a company that Cara actually told me about. They're called, Turtle Doves. And they make wrist warmers, and I don't think they do full gloves. I know they do cowls and they do scarves and hats and baby things. And it's from recycled cashmere. I don't know if it's offcuts from things that are made or what it is, but what's nice about it is that you can wear it, quite a way under so it keeps your whole wrist and hand warm, but your fingers are free. And I've actually used them under gloves. So if you're at the train station, you often need to type, you want to do something with your hands, you can take your gloves off.
Yeah.
But then, and you can wear those all day. You can type with them, you can work with them because your thumb and your fingers are free. And that was, I think, did I ask you ages ago what colours you wear or what?
Yes, you did, ages ago. And I was like, said to Robin, Sally asked me what colours I'm wearing. What's she scheming?
Yeah. And I thought for work that grey was probably the most sort of neutral.
No, that's perfect. It's so funny. I was literally laying in bed last night looking at gloves. Like, I need some gloves. The ones I have are just not cutting it. Oh, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. But you need what I have learned in England is that you don't have one of anything. Yeah. There are types of things. Like you don't just have a hat. You have an autumn hat, and then you have a winter hat, and then you have when it snows, you need like about 5 hats.
Yeah.
And then you need gloves. And then you need the fingerless mittens for, inside or at work or on the train station. You want to take, it keeps like just your hands. You can even crochet or knit with them.
Yeah.
But then if it's really cold, you need gloves over those. And you just ask the children when I was driving them to school this week. So I took Shaldine's kids
because they missed the bus.
I took them a couple of mornings. I took Shaylin on her birthday.
She was very happy about it.
Yeah, I said no one should have to catch the bus on her birthday. And then they missed the bus one
Tuesday.
Morning.
Yeah, the first day Robin was homesick.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And it was quite cold in the beginning of the week, not so much later on, but it was quite cold. And I was driving like this, like trying to hold the steering wheel because it was so cold. So I know that Cara has driving gloves. So I was telling the children, and they were laughing at me, the idea of like getting driving gloves. I'm not sure how I feel about leather driving gloves. I don't know.
I think the kids would think it was extremely cool. I know Tristan is very keen on the fingerless driving gloves. He always finds them in the shop and they're so freaking expensive.
I know.
Mom, I like these. I'm like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
For you.
I know. Part of me kind of thinks, because I'm not vegan, I'm not like, all out, don't. And I don't think the leather is there because we've gone out to get leather. I kind of think, isn't it a byproduct from people eating?
Look, I'd rather it be used. The meat is going to be used anyway. Yeah. So don't throw away the skin. Use every part.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to see if they're fake leather gloves or I don't know. Maybe if I get secondhand ones. Like I found Rachel beautiful. Yeah, I found Rachel beautiful. It's kind of like almost like a writing set thing, and it's in a leather case, and there's a bit where you stick the old, it even has one of those, you know, you used to put the lined paper underneath so you could see through, and it has the thin writing paper and a place to your pen and your post and your stamps, and it's just beautiful. It even smells like old leather, you know. And my kind of thought was, secondhand, surely something's out there already, and you're kind of recycling or repurposing or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, but I know I need something for driving, and you can't really use woolen gloves because it's too slippery. You need something with some kind of grip on it.
Yeah.
So yes, you need driving gloves, and you need snow gloves, and you need waterproof gloves, and wrist warmers, and all sorts of there are many categories of these things. Like, you need more than one coat as well. There are different weights of coat. Yeah. Spring coats and winter coats and wet coats.
I don't know if I'm living in denial. I only have 3 coats.
Okay.
So one I brought from South Africa, one I bought here, and Cara said to me it's more of an autumn coat. And then I got that leather coat that I found at the charity shop, which was my altogether bargain. Love it. Yeah. It's like a over my knee length leather coat. Sally knows what I'm talking about. It's gorgeous. Yeah. That's it. Those are the 3 coats I have. Okay. And Robin, I think, has, we must be edging on almost 12 now.
Wow.
So maybe I'm in denial, and I need that many, because he reckons that he needs all these various weights. So maybe he's right.
See, I don't know. I think I have one autumnish weight coat and one sort of waterproof kind of thing, but it's not particularly warm. Yeah, I probably need, I need to go charity shopping for coats. I think probably this is the time of year they bring it out anyway. So
I would think so. But then we must go to Caterham, because they've got the best charity shops.
Okay, but we can go on the train from here to Caterham.
Yes, that's what we do. Just to go to the charity shops.
We like charity shops.
Oh, yes.
What else have we been up to? I have knitted on some of the stuff, but it's nothing that you haven't seen before. It's just been so busy with other things, really. My children start school on Monday.
Yep.
Gulp. So yes, first time to high school for both of them. And I think it's gonna be a period of adjustment for everybody. I'm not expecting them to love it straight away.
No.
Actually, I'm probably not expecting them to love it ever. Maybe they'll surprise me, but it's not really about that. It's much more about accessing a system that does the things you need for a qualification at the end of the day. You know? So anyway, so there's that. And so we've been doing uniforms, and Emma's off today buying the last few things with Caleb. Rachel's gone off with Shaylin on the train to
shopping by themselves.
Yes, they've gone off to go. I don't know what she needed, but she convinced me she needed something. So
I'm sure they're going to come back with something completely impractical but completely cool.
Yes. Yeah. Rachel went to the charity shop with a friend of hers and came back with a leather skirt. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kids and I made this really cool autumn, what do you call it, like a sculpture structure, not really a structure, it's more like,
I would say it's more like an art installation.
Nature art. Rachel had seen something, I think it was on Pinterest, and sent me this picture, and I thought, while we have the chance and they're not at school, not that we can't do these things on weekends, but we'll go off to the woods near us and we'll go and do, so we made a star. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you saw it. Otherwise, I'll put a few pictures up. So it's basically you make an outline out of sticks, and then you fill. So we filled the star part with yellowish leaves, and then stripes down the tail. It's like a shooting star. So stripes down the tail of the star in various other stuff. So there was one that was conkers, and one that was little stones, and one that was moss, and one that was lichen, and other berries and red stuff and pine cones and whatever.
Really cool.
It was really fun, actually. It took quite long. It was about
back.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was about 3 hours, 3.5 hours or so by the time we built everything. No, we've done things before where we've made stuff in the woods, and then the kids are so disappointed when it gets knocked down or broken or whatever. But it does. It's like making sandcastles or things on the beach. In 5 minutes somebody's come and kicked it over. Yep. And that's what I said to the children. It's about enjoying it in the moment. and taking photos of it, but you can't expect it's going to be there.
No, and it's a process, taking pleasure in the process.
Exactly. It wasn't, if you want something like that to keep, I guess you've got to make it in your garden or something. So, no, I presume it would have probably been kicked over quite quickly, actually. So, no, I haven't been back. I know I showed the photos to my dad, who, besides being a doctor, actually really likes art and did a sort of a fine art degree or whatever. And he knew all about these people, and he told me a couple of names of people that do these nature
sort of installations
and stuff. And some of them are amazing. Like this guy from the base of a tree had done this almost kind of like ombre faded leaf thing kind of coming out from the tree, and there are some amazing things people have done. Anyway, so he's like dead keen now that when they come to visit in a few weeks, we're going to go and do something. Fantastic. Some kind of a nature installation in the forest again. So yeah, that'll be fun.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, because they're here next month, the 10th.
Wow, it's just around the corner.
Yeah. No, I'm quite excited to see them. So that'll be good. Yeah, so that's what we've been doing. School stuff, autumn stuff. Oh, and then we also saw, Titus and I started making, and then the other two also started them. We saw the thing where you make what's called a God's eye. It's got a name in Spanish, I think. They were made to go over the cribs of babies. It's kind of a bit like a dream catcher theory. It's supposed to be like looking after or protecting the baby or whatever. And then you make it by wrapping yarn around a stick. So we collected the sticks in the forest at the same time. And then the kids have been wrapping loads of them. They're like all over my house, everywhere. Everywhere you look, there are different versions of these. So yeah, we have been doing sort of crafty stuff, but not necessarily all knitting.
No bad dreams in your house.
Apparently, yes. Although Caleb did make one that apparently he said was a demon eye. Oh because he's that age and you have to make things that are.
Yeah, I remember that with my son as well.
Yes, so apparently it's from something from Terraria or some computer game. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you because I put it on the side here. I got Rachel this little hedgehog.
Oh, that's so cute.
For her birthday. It was somebody I found on Instagram, Ken, and I will do a link. He's got an Etsy shop. He had done something for Sarah, who I follow on Instagram, and then from that I found him. And then this is what I love about people, when you share other people that hand make things, and then you can find other crafters and things that you like. And he had done something like where you kind of take it's a log, and then it's got little toadstools out of it, and little fairies, and a name, like some of them have a name of a cottage or whatever it is on it or something. And they're like so cute. Anyway, so he does these little hedgehogs. I thought that was just adorable.
That's so sweet.
So I got her this cute little hedgehog for her birthday. So I will put those links in the shop as well. You should go and, he also does beautiful wooden pendants from that same wood. I mean, they're gorgeous, heart-shaped pendants. They're really, really beautiful. So I will link his shop in the description stuff below the video. Yeah. I meant to show you her ocean bracelet thingy, but she's wearing it. Yeah, I went into her room to have a look, but it's on her. So yeah. Yeah, what have you been making and doing?
Well, if anybody follows me on Instagram, you will have seen that this has been my project for this morning, and I started with just 2 colors. It's actually a cable protector. So this is my unused iPhone cable, because the one I have been using for quite a few years has started to break. Apple, please fix your cables. So it's all wrapped around with black tape, and it looks disgusting. And then I saw these on Wish, and I bought one, and it's a whole little kit.
Yeah.
So you get 3 of the wires. So I had started with just the pink and white, and then realized it wasn't going to cover the entire cable, so I pulled it all out and started again with all 3. So that's what I'm up to, winding it.
And then you wind.
And then there's enough actually for 2 cables. And then there's little stickers that you put on the end of the USB sticker. So I don't know if I'll go that far. It seems a bit extreme to put stickers on your cable. But the reason I brought it with is I'm wondering if I can use it on my headphones as well, because anything to extend the life of the headphones, because I use them almost every day on the train.
Oh, that's
So I
very
thought
cute.
that would be really nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't terribly expensive. It was like 30 rand or something.
Okay.
You know. Don't go into Wish if you haven't been onto Wish. You will spend far too much time and money. Especially if you like gadgets and silly things like I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just time consuming. So that's the one thing that started this morning. I've
Now, do
gotten,
they get tangled around each other? It looks like it could be a frustrating process.
I think because I did it with 2, it's easier now.
Okay.
If I'd started with 3, I think I would have found it quite irritating. But because I had already started, so the white and the pink were already stretched and quite loose.
Okay.
And I am finding it easier with 3. So I think it's supposed to be easier with 3. I just thought it was going to be more complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Just, time consuming. But almost there, as you can see. Close to the end. And then, yeah, this cable should be nice and strong and last, I hope.
Well, that's the idea, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
that's the worst thing. These cables are forever.
It's very irritating, especially when it's something so important as in your power cable. You need to charge your phone constantly. Smartphones.
I still think that technology where you put the thing down on the charger was
Yes.
but it never seemed to take off.
Near field
was it called?
charge,
Yeah.
NFC. Well, apparently the iPhones, the newer ones, I think from the 5S up, have it built in. But I think you still need to get a special cover, which then takes the power and then feeds it into the phone. But it's expensive, and then the brief investigations I looked into it, I was like, no, it's not worth it.
Okay.
I've already got a dock next to my bed. I just plug in the cable and charge my phone.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to then alter everything. Though if Apple changes their plugs again, it might be worth it. I'm so tired of having to replace things or buy adapters because Apple in their wisdom decide, no, we're not using that anymore. And there goes all the beautiful speakers and whatever else you've bought.
Can you not then just change the cable?
No, because if you think of a speaker, it's got the little plug built into it.
Oh.
So
it's not just a cable.
Yeah, no. So what Robin did is, because he's also got a bedside dock, and he's got the old 30-pin iPhone cable on the dock, and he found an adapter on Amazon. So he's got an adapter on there. I think it might even be an Apple one. It's 32 Lightning. But then he found a cable as well, because his dock doesn't have any support. So if he used to put his phone on it,
yeah,
I mean, the cats could knock it and break it.
Yeah.
So he then found a cable that would go from it as well. So he just has his lying next to his bed. And his is the fancier dock anyway, because it's got the alarm and the radio, so it comes on in the morning, and he can do all sorts of things with it. Whereas mine's just the speaker that can charge. All these funny things about.
Technology that takes over our lives.
Yes, indeed.
But it connects us with everybody else, so it has its place.
I enjoy it. I listen to podcasts on my dock when I'm at home.
What have you been listening to recently?
Same old stuff to blow your mind, which is a science podcast. And then there's one called Science Versus, which I think I put you on after our last podcast, because they did a podcast about straws and plastic and, the fight against plastic straws. And the scientist on it was saying it's not actually about plastic straws. They are the gateway into getting people to think about plastic and how it's destroying the ocean and forming these massive kilometer-wide islands in the ocean. So it was very interesting to listen to it from sort of the first-hand point of view of the scientist who posted the video of the turtle with the straw in its nose. Okay. That's what started this whole movement, apparently, against straws. But yeah, she was the first to say it's not about straws, it's about every bit of plastic. So that was interesting. So I'd recommend listening to that if you're at all interested in problem we're facing with plastic in the oceans.
I can put a link below as well, then it's easy to find it.
And they're on all the normal things, so Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever else you can find podcasts on.
I think which is often why they teach children these things, because they often say that once you can get children involved in these sort of things, you can take it home with you and educate families and parents, and get children to turn lights off and get children to think about these sort of things. You often get as you said, it's sort of a gateway. Ooh.
Oh, that didn't work. Sorry, I thought I'd switched the dimming off. Try again next time.
Good flashy lights this time. So yeah, you get kids involved, or start somewhere small, as you say. You sort of start with one thing.
Yeah.
Because I think if you start again with facing people with an insurmountable problem, it seems that they can't do anything about it. Because a lot of stuff comes in plastic. I mean, it's just you feel very limited as an individual. What can you do? So I think when you give people simple things that they can start changing, then they go, oh, well, that wasn't so hard. What can I do next? Or, oh, well, that wouldn't be so bad. Then slowly we can start changing. Because, I mean, the biggest thing actually is we've got to lobby the corporates not to use the plastic in the first place, or to come up with the incentives for companies to think of alternatives, or pressure from government or whatever. It isn't actually about very small individuals. But with it, I think business often follows when you've got enough of the population starting to make a noise about something, it can start to put pressure on businesses. So when enough people start to do things as simple as straws and cups and,
and
think about
for that.
Yes, that I think businesses start to realize actually there are enough people that want to change.
That's exactly what the scientists said. It's that small step, so it doesn't feel so insurmountable. Like you look at all the plastics in the ocean and think, how are we ever going to make a difference? Start with this. Start getting rid of straws. And then start looking at everything else, the plastic bags, and how you are not... I mean, they were saying a lot of the stuff that ends up in the ocean, and I think that only really looked at America. Like if you're lazy and you chuck something on the sidewalk, and then when it rains, that then gets washed into the sewers, and then from the sewers it can end up in the ocean, which brings a whole other point to mind, which is really gross. Why is the sewer water going into the ocean? But then what they pointed out is places like India, where they really have no infrastructure for recycling. They are, a big culprit in the stuff just flowing into the ocean.
Yeah.
So those governments need to make a plan to sort of make recycling part of the culture as well.
I read something that only 30% of all plastics even made in Europe are, and we're talking about first world countries here, are being recycled. So yeah, it's a big problem. And I guess, as you say, we each just do
a little bit we can.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. What was? I was reading something. After we spoke about the shampoo bars, Stephanie sent me a link for a supplier in England that makes handmade small batches of shampoo bars.
Oh, cool.
So that's what I want to get next. And they're called Conscious, but spelled sort of more phonetically. So again, I'll put that link in the thing below, and they've got a Instagram page or whatever. So what I really like is they do small handmade batches. And you cut soaps and things down. So they make soaps as well, and they make hair conditioners and various things. And all the bits that they cut off, they then squash together and make what's called a hug bar.
Yeah.
And they donate to homeless shelters.
Oh, that's nice.
Because they say, one of the things about being, hygiene, and often these sort of things that we take for granted, the ability to have a shower and to smell clean, is something that can be quite challenging if you're sort of homeless or vulnerable and these kind of things. So they donate all the offcuts of the things that they squash together. It kind of looks like confetti because all the different colours together. So instead of wasting it, they make these things called a hug bar.
Okay.
Anyway, so on her Instagram feed, she was talking about something called, I'm going to get the name wrong. I'm going to have a look exactly what it is. But basically, it's like if you're out somewhere in nature or the beach or whatever, I think it's called pick up 3, pick up 10. I don't know. It basically just encourages you to pick up 3 items of rubbish as you go along, wherever you are. So if you're out somewhere, instead of always relying on big cleanup things, just pick up 3 pieces of rubbish wherever you are, or 10 pieces, I guess, if you feel like. I think it was something silly like just 3. Just pick up 3 things when you're out and about, and that again makes a really big difference to the stuff not getting into where it shouldn't be. So
that was actually my modus operandi for cleaning the house when my kids were little.
Yeah.
And you walk into the room and it's just strewn with toys.
Yeah.
You just pick up 3 and leave it, you know,
Yeah.
and then like 3 every time. Actually, that's how I've been dealing with our baldroom at work, because it also looks like a tornado with cables all over the place. So if I'm in there and I'm doing a build or whatever, I'll put a few things away, because it's also, it can be overwhelming sometimes just looking at all the stuff.
Yeah, kind of breaking things down into manageable pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it was sort of segues, not quite, but it made me think of, because I was thinking of it the other day, about kind of planning things. I'm not very good at planning. I'm a very much wing it and fly by the seat of my pants.
That's probably why we get on so well. We both have husbands who like to plan.
Yes.
Yes.
I have lists and stuff, but then I do them in a different order, or they're different things, and I lose the list. And I'm not very good at these kind of planning type of things. But I am realizing that a certain amount of productivity or being focused does rely on listy sort of things. So I got a new diary called Dear Diary, and you can get dated ones. Like you can get the ones that'll come out now that will go till next year, you know, like the school ones, and then you get the ones that are the year thing. But this one is undated, and it's 4 months of undated. But what I liked about this, you get a little handwritten note that they send you inside, which I thought was really nice. It says, you know, dear Sally Jane, and thank you for buying, and blah, blah, blah. Like these little personal touches from smaller businesses that I really, really appreciate. Anyway, so then you get personal goals and stuff, which you can write in there. I'm really bad at these sort of things. And then you get goal habits. Like, what are your goals and what are your habits? And then there's a habit tracker, which I really like, because I wanted to, you know, track what kind of things you wanting to do. So a habit tracker is under your weekly goals. The beginning of every week. Let me show you a blank week. So the beginning of every week, you get this habit tracker here, and then this is kind of the overview to the week here, and goals and stuff. And then each day you get a focus and a to-do list and a 10-minute tasks and all the rest. So I'm not terribly good at always filling it in or always knowing exactly what to do, but I'm getting better. I'm sort of trying to write stuff in. But I like the habit tracker, because it is amazing like how motivating a tick box is.
Oh, for sure.
Like if you can see all your little ticks, and then you know, if I don't do this now, I can't put a tick in that box for today.
It is.
So yeah, I've been waking up early. Emma's been away, and so sometime in the morning between 5, no, sometimes a little bit earlier than that, Titus appears and crawls into bed. And then normally he crawls in on Emma's side, and that's fine. So if I wake up early, I can get out of bed, and then they're still there. But if I get up, he either wakes up, or if I'm busy either doing yoga or meditation, he starts calling and crying out from the room, where am I, where am I, where am I?
Oh, goodness.
So it's been a little harder to wake up early and get out of bed, because he is being a little bit more demanding.
Yeah, a little bit clingy.
So I have woken up, but not as early. And what I do is I sit and do the meditation in bed first, and then I've been doing the yoga in the room rather than leaving the room. And then I can tick my 2 little. I've only got 2 at the moment. It's just yoga and meditation every day. And I thought, once I kind of get that down, then we can work on something else.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I was thinking of this idea of, because not everybody is list and type A personality and keeps it all in order. I was kind of thinking of sort of like planning and then winging it. You know, this kind of idea of having some idea, some structure and some focus, I think, because otherwise I'm an ideas person. In the personality things we did at work once, I think there was something like the ideas person, the one that comes up with all the ideas all the time. So I'm always saying to things like to him, like, I had this idea, and then he goes, oh gosh, what now? That's how we landed up here, you know. And then there are people like completer finishers. So in a team you need completer finishers, because they are the ones that get the stuff actually. Not a completer finisher, really at all. But if ideas persons only come up with ideas, people only come up with ideas, they tend not to be on the completing finishing side. So I am realizing I do need some focus, but I also need the ability to be able to just wing it.
Yeah, you can't.
Like,
constrain yourself.
No, it doesn't. I don't like feeling too much like every second is planned out. I need to be a bit more spontaneous than that. And it does work in a way, like I said to Shaldine for coming here to England, like just have a list of what, and then just do the next thing. Like I didn't get too bogged down with how many things were on the list. I just thought, what is the most logical thing I need to do right now? And then I did that next thing, and we're here. And we managed to pack up a whole house and do everything we needed to do. So yeah, I'm kind of on the organized to an extent, and then just wing it for the rest of it. So I've been doing the Headspace. I don't know if you've seen app. I don't know if you get ads for them on.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
I think often if you start looking at yoga stuff, then you get more of the meditation and all of these sort of things. And so I saw the app. There's a free versions, and then there's a paid for subscription part as well. Actually, the guy's quite good, so I would actually go on to the paid subscription part as well. I know Rachel uses it for falling asleep and for meditating and things like that. So I've been using the Headspace one, which is quite nice. I'm quite new to meditation. I've done yoga for a couple of years sporadically, not enough that I can say I'm. Because for me, it's mostly about joint flexibility and just not feeling like when you get down on the floor, you're an old lady and can't get up again. Which seems to be becoming more and more of the case. And, I don't know, this 40s business is not.
No, my husband was moaning in the bathroom this morning. I'm like, what's wrong? He says, I hate getting old.
So I was just thinking being more flexible and keeping that range of motion has to help. And I think there are really good calming benefits as well. But so that's what I've been doing with my little habit tracker and things. And I have all these great plans. When I have more time and the kids go to school, I'm going to be so organized. I know it's not, I'm not going to radically change my personality overnight, so I doubt I'm going to be ridiculously organized, but hopefully I will start being slightly more focused. Who knows? Otherwise, time can run away from you. You can waste so much time if you don't have goals, something set out what you want to achieve.
I think that's perhaps why I wanted to go back to work so early. Once we landed here, I couldn't wait to get a job. It was like a few weeks and then I was bored. I wanted to get back into work and doing what I do. It's just, that keeping busy and having something to focus on.
Yeah.
Plus, if I'm at home, then I start looking at the house, and I hate housework. So I'd rather be at work, where they pay me for my work.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking, or perhaps if I don't have 3 children in the house all day, there might be some hope that some of my cleaning might last longer than 5 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, wow. They're like hurricanes. They just come around behind you and undo whatever you've just done.
I think it's just the hair everywhere. Between the kids and the cats and the husband, just hair. Lots of hair. It's a good thing the camera can't focus on my trousers. Just hair.
Rachel came home from trying on a uniform at your house and she got cat hair all over her skirt.
I walked into the bedroom and she's lying on the floor in her full uniform. I said, Rachel, it's a really bad idea. We have lots of hair. She goes, oh, I know. I was cuddling the cat already. I was like, oh my gosh. And Shayla knows. She puts her uniform on, she stands or she hovers. She can't stand.
You can't sit and you can't hug a cat.
And a black skirt and black stockings. Just not going to work.
Oh dear. So what are you working on? That looks different from what you had last time.
So I got the ultimate compliment. I was wearing that sweater I made last week or the week before.
It's such a cool sweater.
And I came home and Shaylin said to me, oh, you look very nice. Shaylin's my daughter, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that. She said, you look really nice. Do you think you could make me one?
Oh.
So I was like, wow, the teenager asked me to make something.
The approval from the teenager, wow.
So I said, sure. And then she started scratching through my yarn and she looked at those balls of blue yarn that I showed you on our last podcast. She said, oh, I quite like this. I said, that's my yarn. My yarn. I'm going to make a cardigan for myself. So then we went to Hobbycraft and we were supposed to buy watercolors for art. And she found this fabric, which is like greys and purples. And it is Hayfield Spirit. And it is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And of course, it was the most expensive yarn in the shop. And she refused to budge. And I had to buy 5 balls of it.
Cool.
So that is what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to make the same sort of style that I made for me, but smaller. I already think it's actually going to be too big, but I just can't be asked to pull it out again because this is take 2.
Will she wear it if it's bigger?
Yes, I think she will. I'll be honest, I do not think she will wear this in public regardless.
Okay.
So it's fine. If it's a bit big, she's just going to wear it at home anyway. Just hang on. Our children are WhatsApping me. Mom, is £12 for a skateboard good? Rachel's willing to split it.
What? They're buying a skateboard.
Shannon's wanted a skateboard. God, I don't know. What do I say to her? How do you share a skateboard?
Where are they skating? Down our road, I guess. It's a quiet end of the road. So.
I think she saw someone skateboarding to work or something, and now she's keen. I'll just say go for it.
You do know it's going to land up them both getting a skateboard in the end. But I guess if they try it out and like it, I suppose, it gets them out of the house. They're doing something.
Well, I mean, that is cheaper because when we went to IKEA, she wanted a skateboard and it was £75.
Oh, wow.
I was like, ugh.
Right, okay.
Anyway, they didn't have stock, thank goodness. So £12 is really not too bad.
It's not so bad.
They can get their skateboard. Oh, gosh. And the whole thing with the bicycles, I'm sure yours is also still in bits.
Yes, mine's in a box still.
Same. Ours is in pieces in the shed. And I don't know how to put it together, so it's not like I can do it myself.
No, I can't ride a bicycle. I don't know anything about bicycles.
Sally. Tristan can't ride a bicycle either.
Well, I never learned as a kid. I don't know if my parents were just worried about traffic or they didn't really, I'm sure they can ride bikes, but it just wasn't really something we ever did. And when we moved to the city, I think they were just too worried about traffic and things like that. So it was just not something I learned to do. I can wobble on a bike if I had to go somewhere.
Okay.
And the bike Rachel has now is actually a mountain bike that was bought for me.
Your child wants you to answer. I think Rachel's now asking about the skateboard story as well.
But it was a fancy bike with gears.
Yes. I can't change gears. I can cycle. But...
Yes. I mean, I think if you put me on, I'm very wobbly. I don't know what to do with traffic. I completely panic. But I mean, I think if you put me in a park and you gave me a bike with pedals and I just had to go straight, I could possibly not come off.
Okay.
I understand the idea of enough motion, forward motion to keep it upright and this sort of thing. But the whole gears story. And then when you it had cleats and stuff, you had to clip your feet in and clip your feet out. Ridiculous. I mean, I just look like this when So no, there is a bike in the thing, and it's mine. Rachel's now tall enough that she can use it. But not being a particularly coordinated kind of person, the whole bike thing was just very frightening to me. Maybe it's, oh my gosh, it better not be one of these things that the kids have convinced me. My sort of motto or words for this year has been to be brave. And I think we spoke about it with
we did.
The wrap last week and things like that. I'm actually planning a tattoo with Be Brave, with Shaldine. I've got a couple of ideas kind of all over the show, and Shaldine said she'll help me get it all together in
I'll put it in
Photoshop or something, so we'll come up with one cohesive idea. So I actually want to put Be Brave on my arm here. But yeah, I hope that's not going to include riding bicycles.
Well, we've been after Tristan that he now needs to learn to ride a bicycle. He's like, nope. No. Bicycles attack me. No.
It's the whole traffic bit that really, and gears. And
the gears, I'm fully with you. I just find the most comfortable gear, and then I never ever change it. I don't want to stay like that. I don't want to faff with it.
Is there not an auto? I understand the benefit of gears, like in a car. Is there not an automatic bicycle that kind of changes its own gears?
There must be an old-fashioned bicycle.
No, you know what there is? There's something called a tricycle for adults.
I saw one yesterday. I saw a guy driving one yesterday when I went to Waitrose. It looked very cool.
I think it started out.
And it wasn't too big. It was about the size of a wheelchair.
As a mobility thing
Yeah.
as a sort of for people that have actual disabilities. Maybe not knowing how to cycle is some sort of a disability. But anyway, let me see if I can get this to turn. Come on, there we go. So it's like, and it's got a basket and everything.
It's very cool.
So that I'll write that. Although my children said they wouldn't be seen dead near
like
me
mine.
if I get one of these tricycle things. I thought that was a great idea. They weren't so keen on that. Anyway, so yes, hopefully that is not included in my whole being brave thing. I have now conceded at Scouts with them that I'll go on the water.
Okay.
And I've done kayaking, which I always said I wouldn't do. And I went in the canoe. It's so wobbly though.
I've done kayaking. I haven't done canoeing.
I find the canoe way more wobbly. The kayak is on the edge when you get in, and then you push off into the water. The canoe, you stand into it, and it does this. Anyway, so I have always said when I helped with the kids that I would be only land-based. I was happy to help, but I'd mostly be land-based. I didn't really want to do water stuff. But I have conceded to learning how to do some of the water stuff and to be more brave with that. So yeah. Now what I don't know, I've only got one tattoo, and I got it years ago. Next year, I think 10 years ago. It seems ages. Yeah, it was just after I got back to South Africa, like my sort of new beginnings, when I split from my ex-husband and the whole sort of new life kind of thing. So yeah, I can't believe it's that long. And I don't know. I don't think I did terribly much research. I just went to the local shopping centre, and it was a very simple thing, and it was just black, black with shading, and yeah, they just did that exact thing that I wanted. But I don't know, how does one decide who you go to? Like, how do you find a tattoo person?
Yeah, it's difficult here because obviously we don't know anybody.
I don't even know anybody to ask for a recommendation from. And I understand, look, I don't need to pay celebrity tattoo prices, and I'm not going for a sleeve or I'm going for a small thing on my arm. So I generally don't think it needs to be like, they don't have to be famous, they don't have to be the most popular person in the world, but you do want somebody
who's not going to mess it
up. That's fairly good, yeah. And also I want it on the more daintier scale rather than the more, I don't know. There are some, I'm not very much one for things that look angrier or there are some fairly bold and harsher tattoos or whatever, and that's fine, they suit certain people, but that's not me. You see, I wanted something kind of more dainty. Yes. But I don't want somebody that goes, oh my gosh, this woman is like having a midlife crisis and wants some pretty tattoo. Although the have you researched watercolor tattoos?
They are so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I used to follow a bunch of tattoo artists on Instagram and I had to stop because it's like just makes you want something you can't have.
They are so gorgeous. Like I saw a friend of ours has a shoulder sleeve thing with a watercolor one. The only thing I was reading was that they relatively new, so about 5 years old, and you could only tell what a tattoo is going to look like or how it's going to age after about 10 years. And the blacker ones, they do they lose the very fine definition. They sort of spread a little bit, so you've got to account that's going to happen, which is why I like starting with something fairly dainty, sort of and they say they don't know how these, and there's a big debate about whether they're just going to look like a blob of colour, an undefined blob of colour, if they don't have the black to define them. And then some of the people defending the whole watercolour thing said, but you use black, like when you dye yarn and stuff, a lot of the tones have black in them. So even if some of the colour faded, there should be the definition from the black anyway. But oh my gosh. Some of those watercolor ones. If you're going to have an entire watercolor sleeve, I think then you must really research the top watercolor artists thing. I mean, I just want a very small thing on my arm, but I still feel like I need someone that's not going to I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes the tattoo world can feel a bit
intimidating.
intimidating.
It's
That is the
unfamiliar
right
to
word.
us.
Yeah, it is intimidating. I know tattoos are a lot more mainstream than they ever used to be. And you do not have to be covered from head to toe in tattoos, and it's quite normal for people to have one or two, or very normal people to have.
Yeah.
Not the people that have to. I really, in my great attempt here to be PC, I'm not doing very well. But it is a world I find a little bit intimidating. And I guess that's what wanting someone that's going to listen and not be too much like I don't fit into the world of what they perceive or whatever. So yeah, if you have had tattoos when you've moved to a new place and you've got some great tips for how one should find a tattoo artist, people say follow someone whose style you like, but a lot of what people show on Instagram is not what I would ever get. But surely that's what the client has asked for. You know what I mean? Like, how do you? I don't know. I don't know how you find somebody that's willing to do 40-year-old moms that just want something like little and pretty. So that's my thing. I thought if I have it on my arm, then it's my constant reminder to me and the children that I am going to try to be more brave. So yes. Yeah, it's a bit of an addiction though. You can get started. I've got quite a few others planned. As I say, I would love to do a watercolor sleeve. Oh,
and my mum's got a few as well.
Okay.
Same sort of thing. After she and my dad divorced, she started getting tattoos. She's got some beautiful tattoos.
Yeah. So anyway, if you've got some advice about my tattoo dilemma, you can let me know. What am I working on? Well, I am working on my socks. They are very difficult socks to show because they all get curled up when they're not on because the cable pattern sort of pulls them in. Now I feel like I'm not holding my so it's got the DNA strand. These are the DNA socks, and I think last time I pulled it back to before the heel because I had done the heel wrong. So, or not wrong, I hadn't made it wide enough for my foot. Yes, so I'd done small increases, and then I put the heel on, so it's a short row heel. I did German short row stitches instead of the fish lips kiss heel. Has a slightly different short row technique, but this is the German short row technique basically, but it's a short row heel, same kind of thing. And then I've carried on the pattern up the back. This bit of yarn is a bit darker, so you can't necessarily see as well, but there's the little two different variations of the DNA strand thingy. What is it called? A DNA
helix, double helix.
There we go. So that's what they're going to look like. And then I've got ridiculously big feet, so it takes a little while to finish those. So I'm going to finish one, then finish writing up the pattern, and I will be probably looking for testers for this one. For the pattern page, what I will probably do as well is knit them in a plain color as well,
so you can see it.
So that you can see it. I just did this because my mom gave me this yarn. It was kind of DNA and my mom, and kind of it just felt like that fitted together. But I will do a set in the plain to show it off as well. So if anyone's keen to test some socks, let me know. And I will, because then what I'll do is once I've written down the basics, then what I do is I actually type it all up, the whole thing properly, and then I knit the second one from there to make sure that all my notes and my things have, worked Makes out sense, right. So I'm kind of also tested. But when you test something that you did or know what you're supposed to do, you can easily read over things because you know what it should say, so you do what it should say. Not so you do need, and testers are amazing. They're like, I don't know, these are just like people that will give of their time to help you make something. They just I really have such a nice group of people that have helped me test things that it's been really, they're fantastic. Speaking of which, the courage hat that was from the stitch in the Be Brave shawl was out on Ravelry this week. So it's got this what I call the butterfly stitch in it, from that kind of saying that the caterpillar, I guess, never knew it could fly until took all, you got your wings and you broke her out of the cocoon and went for it. You kind of just have to have courage and do things. And I was just saying how I think that courage is sometimes even just coping with everyday stuff. I don't think courage is always climbing big mountains.
Yeah.
It may be for you. I mean, if you're that kind of person, that's where your thing takes you, I think. But for some people, courage is getting up in the morning and facing the day, and that's, Anyway, so that hat is out, and there is a discount code until Wednesday the 4th. An automatically applied discount code. If you have bought the Be Brave wrap and the hat either together now, you get 25% off, or if you've bought the wrap beforehand, the 25% will automatically apply. So things that you bought before do apply to that. So if you buy both, like in the set, it's kind of an extra discount. So that discount always applies. If you buy the hat and the shawl together, you'll always get the discount. But the other one only runs until the 4th of November. No, 4th of October. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Not too long.
Cool. Yeah. And again, I will put up, if you watch this podcast slightly later, like the shawl, I'll give you till the end of October, and I'll put a code up for you if you're watching this after you have missed the original code, if you didn't see it on Instagram because of their silly Instagram algorithm thingies that not everybody sees everything. So yeah, I will do that for the hat as well. So, and thank you to everyone that's been supporting a small business. It really does help.
Yeah.
So yes, that was art, and I have some examples to show of people. You don't have to have the pom-pom, for example. And one of the testers made a really beautiful hat for her husband, and you can see that on Instagram. During the week, I'll post some other examples of what you can do with different colors, and it looks really cool. So, yeah. And then my ongoing, never-ending sweat.
You actually managed to do some on
I
it.
did look.
Okay.
It's not a lot.
Better than nothing.
I think it was here last time, and I've done that much. So I think for a couple of weeks of not terribly much knitting because either I have been going to bed early or Emma's been away in Italy, so it's kind of solo parenting. Often I do all the cooking and all the kind of stuff until he gets home and things, but then he puts Titus to bed because it's his time to sort of spend with him, and I spend all day with him. So I often have, from after supper, I can go sit down and do some, when he's not here, it's just another extra couple of hours before I actually get round to doing crafting, and then by that time I'm often ready for bed. So I really haven't done as much as I was doing before, so never mind. Rachel has actually asked for a jumper, sweater, jersey thing as well.
Our teenagers.
I know.
What's with them?
I know. But I am a little weary because I don't know if you remember ages ago, she started that Mama Vertebrae cardigan. And then it didn't get knit on for a long time, so we eventually finished it, and I pulled out the ribbing, and I got the grey, and I made it longer and all the rest. And granted, it's probably a little small now.
Yes.
But it also has never, ever been worn.
Mm.
So I'm going to give it to, I finally got it to concede that I think she felt bad.
So she wanted to hang on to it?
Yes, but it wasn't being worn. I mean, what's the point? So she has finally conceded that it can go. Okay. So when we go and visit friends of ours next weekend, I'm actually going to take it for their daughter.
Okay, cool.
Who's 11, and it should be fine for her.
Is Rachel actually going to go with you this time?
Yes, because they've got a dog. No, that sounds terrible. Not just because they've got a dog. She actually said she wants to visit.
Okay.
And yes, so I will probably take that for Charlotte.
Cool.
But now Rachel wants something. She has a jumper that we got at a secondhand shop, and it has a kind of a gold sparkle through it. It's kind of a what do you call it? It's not tan, not cream. It's kind of like very light brown,
like a beige.
Yeah, beigey brown, slightly sort of more to the browner side. Okay. And it's got a gold thread through it. And I think she finds it slightly. She doesn't like the feel of it.
Yeah,
but
she
likes
a bit scratchy.
Yeah, she likes the jumper a lot, the sweater. And so she's asked, could I make something like that? But that she really likes cotton.
Mm.
My dilemma with cotton is
Heavy
the stretch.
and stretch, yeah.
So I have found a couple of options, and I'm going to swatch and see what we get. I had a big charity shop find, actually.
Ooh.
Rachel really likes this sort of mustardy yellow color, and I found this at the charity shop, and it is this, what is it called?
It's mercerized cotton.
Yeah, mercerized cotton, which apparently is supposed to not go as it doesn't go as dull and stretched out supposedly as normal cotton. And then it's got that shiny, that sort of glossy shine to it. So there was a whole bunch of it. There was a couple of these. So, and she really likes this color. She's got another jump in this, and she wants a cable up the front. So the cable lets me think that it might hold its shape quite well, but I'm going to do a large-ish swatch with some cabling in it, wash it, hang it, and see what it does. See how it behaves. And see what, this is also like a chain plied way it's wound together. So I think it's also supposed to not drop quite as much. If anyone's had some experience with that, let me know. I've seen some projects on Ravelry making tops with cotton, but they show you right after they've made it. Like nobody comes back and said, how did this wear?
Yes.
Like how, so if you have made something out of cotton, won't you show me on Instagram like after a year or so, like what it looks like now? I want
the
to
regular
know,
wearing and washing.
yes, how does it wear? So that's one option. Then the other option is to use something. This one is cashmere and cotton. This is what is RY? I feel like I
Rowan,
should.
isn't it?
I think it looks like, I'm sure it's a Rowan one. I was going to say Rowan, but I'm not. Let's pull this out. So it's from some stuff my sister gave me, because I was going to buy acrylic yarn to make the God's Eyes with. I wasn't using all my expensive stash to make God's Eyes. I'm telling you that much. So I said to my sister, oh, where can I buy just cheap acrylic? And she said, oh, I've got a whole box for you, so I'll give it to you. She was looking at getting rid of it to the charity shop. This must be Rowan. Hey, RY, Rowan yarn. Sure it is.
What's the website, sir?
I'm trying to see. Can you see anything on there that is made in it? Oh, goodness.
It doesn't say anything.
It doesn't really say anything, does it?
Must be Rowan there. It looks like the Rowan logo.
Anyway, so this is cotton, polyamide, Angora, viscose, and cashmere, which is another option. This one's also got that sort of nice, more, not quite tweedy, but you know what I mean, more sort of marble, not a flat color. So that might be an option. So I'm going to swatch. I've only got one ball of this, but what it will show me is how it holds up, and if she likes the feel of it. She's very tactile. Yes, and very tactile, sensitive to stuff. She doesn't like socks of a certain thing. She doesn't like that what's that stuff called, that velvety, fake velvet stuff.
She hates velvet.
Hates it, like can't stand it. It actually makes her crawl, you know. So that's my other option to try that out of. And then I had one more thing I was going to try. This one is definitely Rowan. This one was just a plain Rowan cotton. I think this one is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. So again, the acrylic might just hold it in. So this is the Rowan All Seasons cotton. So that is my other option. And this was, she just had one, I think she'd made something, and I've got 2 balls. She had a little bit left. So I am going to, I know she's done a bit of a swatch here, but I'm actually going to, again, cable swatch all of these, hang it and wash it and etc., and see what comes out looking like. And then sort of get her to settle on what kind of a pattern she wants. So yeah, that might be what I'm making next. I got all that from the charity shop, and then a couple of loose balls of things that I think might go quite nicely together to make a sort of a scarf or a shawl. And they're all, this one's Debbie Bliss Baby Cashmere, and this one is another one with cashmere. Oh no, this one was wool, and then these two were wool, and there was another one that had cashmere somewhere in the thing. Oh, this one was another cashmere one. So there were a couple with cashmere, and I thought the colours kind of went quite, went quite well together.
They're very nicely together.
So I might come up with something for that. So that was my charity shop find. And two sort of, falling off the ball here. I thought of, for a thicker hat for winter, this is 50% wool and 47% acrylic, so it'll wash quite well. And I thought I might make some sort of a hat out of that. So yeah, just kind of bits and pieces that I found. And there were a few balls of this, which is a similar thing, but this is not. One is with viscose. It's a shiny viscose, and it's not. The other one with a cable, like a braided thing, and this is just plied.
Yeah.
So I don't think Rachel wants a contrast on hers. Originally, before she said she wanted something, I was thinking of doing something with some color work contrasting with those two. But I'll see. Also, in my experimenting, which one works out and works best for a garment, and then we'll see.
Yeah. Because
the last thing I want to do is put all that effort in, and then it hangs and is all big and baggy, and she doesn't wear it, because this has been a theme.
Yes.
Especially if I'm making a whole sweater.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to update on my shawl, the one that I spoke about last time, my train project. Gotten quite far on it.
Were the spots of purple coming through last time already?
Yeah, they were, but maybe not as obvious as they are now.
Looks lovely.
My hook is right inside it, so can you see it's gotten quite big?
That's really nice.
Definitely going to need to be blocked though, because of the way I've just jam it in the bag.
Yeah.
As soon as I get to my stop, it's like rumble it up and shove it in the bag, and that's it. It's been put on pause now because of the sweater for Shaylin. So
yeah, when teenagers ask for something, one has to sort of take the opportunity.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Yes.
So you can see I've gotten quite far on that, considering I started on Saturday last. So this has been a week. I did pull it out.
Yeah, I just hate you.
This whole long stitches.
Yeah, this whole knitting process.
So much slower.
But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I knit because it's a good process.
Yeah.
And because it's something I can do easily without thinking, and it is calming and
I enjoy the
meditative
process.
and all the rest. So yes.
Yeah.
I won't hold it against you too much. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we've got Sheldon in the podcast. At least she'll be coming with new things that she's making all the time, because she'll be quicker than me. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all I'm working on. It's exactly the same things. They are slightly further along. And the rest we've talked about things we've either gotten or made or blathered on about something. So, yeah. Have you got anything else you doing?
Oh, just that in our last podcast, I don't know if you remember, Sally asked me if anybody ever asked me what I was knitting. And then yesterday, weirdly enough, I went to buy breakfast for myself at the canteen at work, which I never do. And while I was paying, a guy came up to me and said, "Oh, I just have to tell you, I love that you knit during lunchtime." So the rest of us go back to our desks and eat and type on our keyboard. And I think it's so great that you're taking me time. I thought it was so sweet. I didn't correct him that I was actually crocheting. I got back to my desk and sent Sally a WhatsApp straight away. You're not going to believe what just happened. So finally, somebody said something.
Somebody asked, yeah, and got it wrong. But
I
mean, I suppose if you don't do either, you wouldn't really have a clue that it was something different, or that you used a different process. And I suppose some like woodwork technique, or I'm trying to think of another craft that I might not know, or might sort of mess up what somebody was doing.
Embroidery.
Exactly. Yeah. I might ask if they were, So anyway, I think it's quite nice when people acknowledge, or just are interested in any case. So yeah, we must go to craft at our little the little shop again.
Must do that. Must put the announcement out there on the neighborhood groupie thing.
Yes, and see if somebody wants to join us. Yeah.
Maybe your sister will join us again as well.
That's true. Yes.
Oh.
Let's pick a date for October and see if we put. Actually, Cora will be here again at some point in October. She's got her school half term, so
Okay. Maybe we can do it also when your parents are here and your mom can come with us.
Too. Yeah,
that'd be nice.
It would be nice. So we'll see what kind of a date comes up, and then we'll put it on the our local area Facebook and next door group. We'll put a little notice, and then if anybody is
feeling
in the
brave,
area, yeah,
want to come meet the mad South Africans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would you too? I think I would. If it was the only other craft group things I found are always during the week and don't allow children. So Charlene works and I have hordes of children all the time. So in the one actually in the local yarn shop closest to me, actual yarn shop, rather than the one at the library. There's a knitting group at the library, but that's during the week, and then there's one at the yarn shop in between Banstead and Cosholton. There's a little yarn shop.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Not very easy to get to if you don't have a car, though. Not on the Band Street High Street at all. It's kind of between,
Okay.
And they have a knitting evening, but it is on a Tuesday night, and that is the only night I can't do because I help at Titus's the group, and I'm not back in time.
I find evenings hard anyway because I'm so tired.
Yeah, like a Saturday. Anyway, so we're going to put out our little notice and see if anybody comes and joins us.
Oh, we're talking about getting togethers and stuff. It's my high school 25-year reunion. The one in Cape Town was cancelled due to lack of interest. But the one in the UK is apparently going ahead, and I'm getting a tiny bit of pressure to pitch. And
are there more of you here than there, or just enough of you here?
I think it's more that there's enough of us. It seems like South Africans just immigrating all over the shit. So we're either in Australia or Canada or here.
Okay.
And there goes the error message. Your disc is almost full, Sally.
Oh dear. I'll leave it to my Mac specialist to fix it.
Yeah, we need to look at that. So maybe we should sign off then.
Sign off and say goodbye. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.